Text breaking and white spaces. We have now got some content on our page that we want the browsers to render, and we have seen that something may not get rendered the way you would initially think. Part of that may come down to block versus inline that we just talked about, and some of it's about how browsers handle white spaces and breaking logic. So there are specific elements we can use to instruct the browsers how to do that. For example, we have a pre element which tells the client most of the time the browsers that this particular content has been pre-formatted and it should respect that. For example, we have the pre element which tells the browsers or the client that this particular content has been pre-formatted and it should respect that. This changes the way that the browsers handles things like line break and white space. Line break and white spaces. We also have the BR and break elements that allows you to specifically tell the browsers to add a line break at that point. That's an HR element or horizontal rule that allows you to put a horizontal line right across the page. This is very old and original element. It does not get used as much anymore as people tend to use style sheet and borders and other things to create those visual breaks in their pages. Next, we have what's known generally as a character entity, and this is a particular type of markup we can provide. We can provide to the browsers that represents characters that's special. In this case, you can see we start these entities with the ampersand or and the sign and end them with a semicolon. This means I want you to the consider this way, but it's not one in which I want to break the line of text onto the next line. And you can use these if you need to add additional spaces between elements. But again, you will find that most modern developers will use style sheets in order to manage spacing around and between elements. And lastly, we can see that two are here that represents the less than and greater than symbols. When we think about the markups, we have been creating these particular symbols in order to denote an HTML element. So it wouldn't really help to put one of these right in the middle of our text, as it would confuse the browsers. And so if you want to display a less than or greater than a sign, you use the character entity straighter again with the ampersand, then either it or get plus the semicolon. This is just a few of the particular text elements that we can use around breaking and white spaces.